Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Lone Survivor. We're rested, we're ready, and we're back on East Street to correct a grave error, which was scaring the poor stray kitty off before. So we're gonna approach even more carefully, even more slowly than we did before. And if you're going too fast at first, you can kind of see the cat tense up for a sec. Like that. Ah, we got to it. Now we can feed it. That is clearly Jasper Byrne's cat that he just recorded with like a Yeti or something. Hey, we finally get to feed it some of this cat food. I did make a stop at the director before we started the recording up. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I don't know why we picked the empty tin can up, but hey. Make something nice to eat once we get back to the apartment. We'll slip past him. I'm still gonna have to burn the flare, but at least we won't be using two. Ah, man. I was hoping I could get the others to wander nearby if I waited long enough. And we're taking this path back to the apartment, one, to not use a mirror, but also because after the first time you feed the cat's now hanging out nearby. Really should think of a name for you. So this is its new little chill spot. And each time you feed it, it's gonna get a little more comfortable around you, and it's gonna get closer to where you dwell. Oh, he tensed up a little. Ah, there we go. Hey there, little fella. What's going on in your life? Full of energy. I like that. We're gonna feed him again. This cat's so hungry. Cat's so hungry. Aw, what a cute little guy. Oh, and he's fucking off again. Great. He's off. And we can't really follow him, because that's rusted shut. And a reminder, this is where we were before, the front entrance. Now, there's gonna be something, once again, new once we get back to the apartment. The kitty's in the window! But we can't quite get to him to the fire escape. So maybe, once we do a little bit of housekeeping, we can figure out how to make the cat come inside! I don't want to be out here. So, something I talk a lot about in my horror LPs is how powerful implications are. Hinting at things, or obscuring things, not giving you enough time to fully study and understand a situation or a monster. It's all strong because it lets your imagination race and fill with like the worst case scenarios. And you can often make the horror more potent by doing so. It's part of why I praise Silent Hill so much for its restraint. There's very little overt gore. It's mostly implied. Monsters tend to be designed, you know, sometimes with like an obvious metaphor, but a lot of the time it's all based on inference. They're implying something. Your mind takes the ball and kind of runs with it. Oh, this is gonna be a good meal. And makes it all so much worse. Something goes from not quite right to grotesque really easily. Why am I saying this? Because Lone Survivor takes advantage of this. The whole reason this is pixel art isn't just because it's more budget friendly for indie games or small teams to do pixel art, it's also because of all the scratchy effects and low fidelity. It means it leaves a lot to the imagination. Oh, let's see if we can tempt the cat inside. Yeah, it worked. Like these small blocky shapes morph into like the worst versions of themselves in your mind. Oh, it's time to name it. I thought we had to give it another bit of cat food. Good enough for me, little buddy. You're quite a perky little fella. What name describes that? I think the other option is Sunny or something, but Itchy's fine. Kinda want to call him Dart, because I just rewatched Stranger Things too. Well, I'm just the guy who looks after you. That's all you need to worry about, eh? Scratchy or Itchy, damn it. The Itchy and Scratchy show. How's it going? So we can keep feeding it. You're full of beans today, Itchy. And we can keep feeding it. And a few different things will happen. There's a maximum of 5 tins of cat food in the game. We're gonna give him all 5. But first, let's talk to Itchy. Let's tell him about our day, and most importantly, let's pet him. My little friend. Oh, this animation's adorable. Hey there, little fella. What's going on in your life? Look at your shiny coat. You're so special. A little bit of light in the darkness, this is. And that's kind of what the whole game has been about, is finding that light. Nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself. This is one extra way that we do that. By adopting this absolutely adorable, wonderful pet. And now, there's one more thing to do, but I have to make sure of something real quick. Alright, to check a bit of information about the cat out to make sure I was right. Once you feed him all the way, you'll wake up and the cat's in bed with you, just sleeping at your feet. God, what a beacon of light that cat is in this game. So as usual, we're gonna do our thing. And you know what? We're in finale territory. We got all of our key items previously. Ooh, papaya flavored. Now we're gonna do our little bit of maintenance. We're gonna play some games for a little bit. We're gonna drink some coffee. And then we'll be good to go. Chuck doesn't need any watering. Watered him yesterday before we started that video up. And then, remember, we have our wire cutters, we have our car battery, and we have, what was the crowbar. So we're gonna then journey out through the mirror to a new location. Look at this little guy fly. Tweet, tweet. Is he playing Angry Birds? PSP? I'll never even get that far again. Never ever get that far again. Whoops. Why are there 5? No, what is he playing? Oh, he's probably playing something Jasper Byrne made. I have no idea. And you can pet the cat every day. Oops, that's not... Oh shit, how do I get the cat out of bed? Oh well, let's read the diary. Maybe the cat will... I saw the freaky guy, the one with the white face, scared me half to death. Even though I can't explain it, I need to push on through the city to see where it leads me. I wonder what's at the end of the road. That's the latest entry. Come on, kitty. Yeah, I bet. There you go. You have to walk around a little bit. Hey there. Hey there, Itchy. Ah, tell me about it. He follows you around. This cat's the best. There you go. And we'll give him a little pet. Really are cute. That's the best. That's very, very good. I don't suppose we can give him some water. Nope, we can't. Ah, well. Well, we're not going past day 15, so... This is our final day in the game. Go back to the Crab Shack. This is just past the Superflat World Arcade. It's not great. I know there are 3 of those, so I want to hit them all with the same flare. Ideally. Oh no, don't path back here. This one's gonna make me wait. Eh. This is okay. This is okay. Can't go in the pizza place or the record shop on this playthrough. On New Game Plus, we can. In fact, on New Game Plus, you can get a stereo from the director, which works the same as the PSP, except I think it offers a little bit more therapeutic value, let's say. It consumes a battery, you use it on the couch in the apartment. Same idea. Get a little bit hungry afterwards because you spend so much time listening to music, and suspiciously, we get handgun ammo and a health tonic, just out in the open in the street, not concealed by darkness or anything. Was this done by an explosion? It looks like a battle took place here. Yeah, ooh, something about this crater gives me the creeps. Is this the work of the survivors? So we know that there was some kind of ongoing civil war, and that there was a bus bombing, and here we have a bombed out bus. The side door doesn't open up unless the electrics are working. I think the electrics are inside. I wonder if I can get it open. Well, luckily we can pry the panel off with a crowbar. There's some exposed wires inside, which we'll cut with the wire cutters. Give them a little snip. So far, so good. The wires are snipped now. I could probably attach them to something, like a car battery. That got the electrics back on. So that means that the side door is open now and we can proceed past the bombed out bus. And a mirror back home, just out in the open, with billowing hot red fog. What is this place? Is this the end of the road? What was I expecting to find? I don't know. Yeah. Oh my god. It's all over this time. No, it is. So you want to be holding left immediately. Otherwise, you will take a hit right away. You can take 2 or 3 hits from this thing before dying. Yeah, this thing's basically a fucking horror... like a more horrific necromorph. Its name, by the way, is Mother, or Mom. So we had Daddy down in the basement, and now this. Your goal is to get it to rear back before you cross in front of it. If you're ever under the claws, without a flare or without it reeling, you'll just get stabbed. And it hurts a lot. But now, I think we're good. You can also shoot it in the head to get it to rear back, or shoot it in the legs. Or you can just expend flares. This is a timed fight, by the way. So who's this? Oh no! Well, I think the mother probably did it to him. What can I do? Tell me, please. How can I stop the bleeding? The director. Hey kid, don't worry about me. Seems I'm finished here. Foraged a little too far this time. You're not gonna die on me. Well, has to happen sooner or later. What was it they say? Sometimes you eat the bot. Forget it exactly. It's not fair. Why'd it have to be you? You were my friend. Hey, keep up your chin. Keep your chin up, kid. You'll need to if you're gonna find her. The hospital. Wait, you know her too? Who is she? I miss her too. So our girl in blue, the director apparently knew her, and we're being urged to go back to the hospital, the one with the keypad that we couldn't unlock. The director is holding a torn piece of paper. This piece of paper has a bunch of numbers on it. Some kind of clue? Yeah. Guess whatever it leads to is the end of my journey. This is what's going to allow us to open the lock in the hospital, to go in there and to round things out. It says 01263. That's all. He's dead, Itchy. He's dead. The director's dead. He was as close to a dad to me as... I don't even know how I'm gonna feed you anymore, Itchy. I have to go out and end this. Find a way out for both of us. Maybe like him, I won't even come back. Can you forgive me, Itchy? Oh. Thanks, Itchy. Let's give him one last pet before we head off. And we're going out the fire escape because we're going back to East Street where we first found Itchy. And we got one more health tonic, so might as well stop in and give it to Hank. I almost called him Chuck. I tend to mix them up a lot. I don't know how I'm such an idiot that I haven't pointed out yet that, oh, he's doing much better. That Chuck the Plant is sent up to LucasArts Adventure Games. I feel like I missed one health tonic, but I'm not sure. Not that it matters too much. I appreciate it. You okay, Hank? Let's see how he's doing. Much better thanks to you, dude. Okay, so nothing new there. We can also, let's try to give the... Oh, I don't feel ready to give him away yet. Not yet, anyway. Maybe if I feel a little better? That's concerning. Usually you'll get a little psych boost from trying to give it away to people. They'll often refuse, but, That's either a new interaction in the director's cut, or I might be doing a little less well than I thought, but I don't know how that could be. I mean, we're gonna find out pretty soon anyway. Not gonna have too much use for these flares coming up. Might as well burn them now. Ooh, I'm a little bit worried now. My, I should be pretty healthy. Like, I should be doing well. It's gotta be what I'm looking for. City Hospital. Just standard hospital information on this notice, how to escape, that kind of thing. Nothing unusual in the cover, except for the age of its contents. There's an ominous line at the end of the fire extinguisher dialogue, and it's "the fire's already out." Why is my name on this clipboard? I was never a patient here. Was I? Anyway, looks like it's the room at the end. So there's this paw print door, a cat paw print door. That's a New Game Plus thing. All these doors are locked. Except for the one at the end of the hall. This must be the room in the register. My room? There's one last green pill in this room. I feel tired all of a sudden. Just a bed. And it's locked. Before we go to bed, I may eat this irradiated orange. Tastes oddly fresh. Well, let's take that final green pill and go to sleep. Maybe I'll just sit down for a while, or lay down. Just for a little while. And there's our final encounter with the white-faced man. This indicates that we have gotten the green ending, which is what I was going for. So about that thing I said, I didn't really mean you had to come and find me. Don't do this, please. Well, you're here now, aren't you? But I want you to promise me something else. I want you to look after yourself. And after things are back to normal, you should leave this city. It's alright, you. Everything's gonna be alright. Stay with me. Don't be scared. I'm not. I'll see you again one day. So that was his close friend or wife or girlfriend, something like that, in the hospital. Our player character, was the lone survivor of that bus bombing we read about. The game is about coping and getting better and mourning the death of her. Or on some paths, getting much, much worse, and slipping further into darkness. Being the lone survivor, there's also survivor's guilt and PTSD that factor in here. The director, I think that the director was probably the director of the hospital who grew attached with her. Or it could have been her father, a stepfather to you. Nothing that we just saw— oh, Terry Kavanaugh! Yeah. Nothing that we just saw, by the way, nothing of that interpretation necessarily means this was all a hallucination or this was all in his head or whatnot. Or that the infection and all of that isn't real. The ending doesn't discount any of the events leading up to it. There are some aspects that are likely just in his head, but not everything. Like, pretty much anything from his dreams, the box man, the white-faced man, were probably significant to him, but doesn't seem like they're around physically anymore. The rest, there's no reason to discount that, though. We have a fairly clear bit in the bus bombing in the recovery plot, like, with a lot of ambiguous detail that you can fill in the blanks for. Like the mom and dad enemies. Being as grotesque as they are and saying that the director is the closest thing that you had to a father, that tells me that our main character may have probably been abused or not treated very well at home before moving to the city with her. It's a pretty basic theory, but what I'm saying is that there's room to interpret the elements and the themes of the story, while other aspects are pretty clear now in retrospect. Something that I will always appreciate about Lone Survivor is that it's a horror game that deals with mental illness without being like, rah, crazy people are scary, and here's this haunted insane asylum. Like, it's a game about mental illness, but from the perspective of, like, it being about self-healing and coping. His moment in the basement, when he breaks down and he sees this, what you see now, the greener pastures, literally green hills, is him confronting all of his suffering and still daring to hope about there being something better. Like, hoping for a better life. And then he comes to again, still in the basement, still surrounded by just all of this macabre shit, and he comes to, and that hope gives him the strength to continue through the basement. Like the most intense part of the game. One of my favorite survival horror games to come out of the indie horror renaissance, right here. Because it's so different. It's really intense, really scary. It's got this unique aesthetic, a perspective that isn't like every other combat-less FPS, harkens back to the horror games I love most while fully embracing its own path. And there's lots of hidden details, as we've come to see, obscured by like non-obvious systems. It's detail-rich both in the way it plays and its themes. And I think Jasper Byrne is a genuinely really cool dude. He was on this show called Sub Homes like 5 years ago. He was like apologizing to people who bought it on day one, not because it was like busted when it came out, because he was like, oh god, it's so much money, I'm sorry. Like, he wanted to make enough money from Lone Survivor basically just to cover his future endeavors of making more freeware games while still being able to eat. Like, that was his goal with Lone Survivor. Let me make enough money to eat and to also cover all these free games I want to put out. Really, really enjoyed Lone Survivor a lot. but there's still one more thing. So you know how in Silent Hill 2 you had different endings based on some fairly innocuous seeming actions that you could take? Like looking at the knife in your inventory? If you did that repeatedly, it would push you towards the in-water suicide ending. Nothing told you explicitly, like, this is gonna move the needle one way or the other. And some of the things that affected the ending you'd get, like how the game judged your playstyle and the psyche of your playthrough, some of those things were not obvious at all, without the benefit of hindsight. Jasper Byrne set out to do something really similar here in Lone Survivor. Like, there's a very elaborate list of things that contribute to or degrade your mental health, and it's generally like you taking time to nurture yourself with recreation, like the PSP or the stereo, enjoying the coffee you love so much, not becoming overly dependent on pills, doing good for others, eating well, not pushing yourself past the brink of exhaustion, not killing people. All of that pushes you towards the green ending, which is like his most healthy point, where he copes. Alternatively, if you go on a murderous rampage and try to eat rats and rotten meat and shit, and keep yourself awake with red pills for days on end, you get progressively worse and worse off, and you'll get the red ending or the blue ending or one of those. But that is it for Lone Survivor, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. That helps me out quite a bit. If you want to go even further with helping me out, you can check the description for a couple of extra links, like the link to the Discord, the link to my Twitter, or even the link to my tip jar and my Patreon. But that's gonna do it for now. Batman Arkham City is up next, and another horror game that I think you'll be having some little nightmares over we'll be following as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.